Welcome to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Night, the podcast that deals with the early life of yours truly. And now, narrating Baton Rouge Pops and Loves, Jimmy. 2:30 a.m. Jim wakes up and asks Don, the morning servant, to make him a pot of coffee. He learns that there is a flag-raising ceremony at 8 o'clock in the morning at Grace Baptist Church, and he expected the family to be there. $3:50 a.m. Elizabeth wakes up with abdominal cramps, so she reaches for her tonic and turns on some patriotic country music. With her being a widow for 5.5 years and battling cancer for 6, with her being a widow for nearly 5 years and battling cancer for 6, she feels that her country music and tonic could ease her pain. 4 a.m. Jim, Betsy, JR, and Forever go on a nice boat ride on the Mississippi River that would last about 3.5 hours. Before they were to head back to Mary Jane and get the family together for the flag-raising ceremony at Grace Baptist Church. 4:35 a.m. Jim moves the boat deeper into the Mississippi River, and it seems like everybody is having a good time. 8 a.m. At Grace Baptist Church, the flag-raising ceremony was an awesome experience. Jim helped the veteran members of the church raise the flag and follow the orders. There was a moving sermon by Pastor Doolittle about liberty. Afterwards, everyone went into the fellowship hall to have breakfast. JR had a few donuts. 11 a.m. Back at Mary Jane, Frank, Jim, and Blake are getting into a barbecue contest. 4:30 a.m. Betsy finds JR sitting in the courtyard of Mary Jane, moping and alone. "What's wrong, Junior?" Betsy asked. "Daddy," JR said. "He spends more time talking to Cousin Joe and that friend of his over there." "Well, don't you worry about your daddy. I told him exactly what I thought about him pulling this crap. I don't mind him bringing friends, but he has no right to ignore the family. He keeps it up, we can just have fun without him. Uncle Tom wants to get more fireworks." 4:30 p.m. Uncle Tom, sensing that JR is getting a little restless, takes him to the store to buy a candy bar and a Dr. Pepper. He then goes and buys more fireworks. 8:30 p.m. In the courtyard of Mary Jane, little Thomas is launching some small fireworks. JR is sitting on one of the couches in the courtyard, talking to his cousin, Amy Kathleen, who informed him that the rest of the family would be back in Washington, D.C. the 5th of August. so that she could enroll where she'd been accepted at Ascension Christian College. And Christine and Forever could enroll for a year at Cornerstone Christian Academy. Jim and Betsy are sitting happily at the couch, watching Christine help Thomas launch the fireworks. At 8:30 a.m., Uncle Tom announces to the family that he will get some pictures developed and sent out to everyone involved where they're at ASAP. 10 p.m. The fireworks display at Mary Jane and at Baton Rouge was something to behold. Everyone was having a wonderful time. JR was hooting and hollering, having a wonderful time. Everyone was finally together as a family, which meant something to Jim, Betsy, and even JR. Hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Night. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of the adventure. It's J.R. Hendrick saying that until next time, remember the adventure and remember the rest of the story. God bless y'all.